here, man. My big brother, Mr. Big Keith, was in the hospital a while back. He was in there for about most of July. Well, I saw this posted on his Facebook. He's on IG as much. And Big Keith is out of the hospital. Yay! Look at that big group sitting in the wheelchair. Well, you know what? I shouldn't be laughing. That's been me. That's been me a few times. So I shouldn't be laughing. But you know what? I just, him, because him, yeah, I'm a girl. I love you, Keith. I'm supposed to let it go. I know I'm supposed to let it go. I try to let it go, but sometimes it creeps by every now and then. But I love my man Keith. He's been a great contributor to his channel. His knowledge and information is really appreciated. I wish all best for him and Tina and the kids. Hoping we can get back on. He can talk about how he's been through and also, give us some updates because we love the man. He's been through a lot. But I hope he's doing well. So I'm gonna give a shout out to my dear friend, my big brother, Mr. Big Keith Williams. So, folks, we just had the wrap for the Tampa Bay Pro, and it was a good show. I got to watch a good part of it. The first half of it, where we went three parts. You had the Masters, you had the Open for women's bodybuilding physique, and you had the other half for figure. And I got to watch so much of the first part. I missed the finals for women's bodybuilding physique because I had an interview that day, and I missed a good part of the figure because I also had an interview that same day. But I want to say it was a good show. Congratulations to Paula Ranta. I'm going to say that out. I mean, I'm kind of different about it. Honestly, I feel like Alina Opera should have won. I think she has the better conditioning, overall size. Paula has a great conditioning. She has that advantage of her youth, but still, you put the tails to the head to some of the ladies in the women's bodybuilding division, she's going to be a little bit outsized. But also shout out to Amanda Machado. She was there last year when I was there in Tampa because a couple of clients were competing there. And then this is her second Olympia qualification. She beat out at least a couple of ladies who went to Olympia at least more than 2 times. And that's pretty good for her. And also shout out to Tamara Barrett, who won I think this is her second Olympic qualification in a very heavy lineup. And that was figure. I mean, it was at least, counting just the Masters and the Open, nearly 40 women altogether. And that day, on Saturday, 30 women go head to head. She was able to pull out and even beat quite a few Olympians. Even took, runner-up at that show was Nicole Zenobia, who was number 5 in the world at the Olympia last year. So, folks, we have a couple of guests here. So we have 2 guests here. So is Jake. Those gentlemen were there at the show checking out. Also, we may have another guest, and it's a lady. I guess I would have a lady on here. You don't get me too much. We're just a bunch of nerds here. We get girls here. So I'm gonna get out first. Shout out to my brother here. David. David from Female Bodybuilding Forum. David was there, and you see the cool background he got. Wow. They make me hate on him. I don't mean hate. I mean congratulations. That is the lovely Mrs. Barbara Marjan and the lovely Miss Melanie Horton. Melanie competed. She made her long way return. She competed last time in 2024. She did the Masters and the Open in women's physique. And Barbara is supposed to be coming up and competing in a few weeks at the Olympia. So welcome, David. Thank you, Barbara, for coming through.
Yeah, check out my shirt too, Sid. I ain't got time for no jibber jabber. You know what I'm saying?
Stop being a fool.
Oh, I do it. I did a lot of jibber jabber.
Yeah. Also, next up here is my young nephew, the boy's growing up. We're proud of the boy. He's growing up. He's really doing some good work. My nephew here, Alex. Alex was there. He was hanging out with the women. He was, doing little interviews, getting autographs, talking. I'm so proud of you, son.
It's just what I always do every year. I'm just want to show my support. But yeah, this year was different for me. This year I stayed at the hotel for a night. It was not bad. Though I regret I did. I should have brought my food with me because man, the food's expensive up there.
It is expensive. Yeah.
Yeah. You bit off buying yourself a couple of hand sandwiches at Walmart. You'll be all right. So, and gentlemen, we're not the only ones here. I know most of the time I have a bunch of hard legs in here, but we have here is a lady. We have here the lovely IFBB Pro figure competitor, the lovely Mrs. Ryan Martin. She is here today. She competed this weekend at the Tampa Bay Pro. She talked about her experience being there, and and I mean, as we were talking earlier, it was a stat class for figure. Oh, just alone with the Open, 30 women. Then you add on with the Masters, it's nearly 40.
Yeah, there was
We're at 40.
33 in open, and then there was 10 in 40 plus, and then 8 in 45.
So what was it,
And then
50?
and I mean and in the 50 plus, I mean there was probably at least 8, I think.
Wow.
So we would say at 50 women altogether. That's probably more than bikini. Just about.
Actually, they said on Saturday that for the pros, the figure group was the largest group.
Real? Wow,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah.
Even larger than, excuse me, that model.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hot tour.
Yeah. Not hot, too hot. Yeah. So, folks. Anyway, it was a big show. Shout out to the winners and the competitors, and I really want to get y'all feedback from it, especially since I'm old fashioned. I like to go with ladies first. So, what was your experience like? This is your first time competing in Tampa, Ryan.
Yes, so it was my first time competing at the Tampa Pro. I was originally planning on doing that last year, but I came in a little early, so I jumped into the Toronto Pro, and that was the huge eye opener for me. I realized after doing that, I really needed to put on some size, so I immediately jumped right back into a build phase, and then I did the Body B1. 6 weeks ago, and then Tampa just this weekend, and then I'm going to do Max Fit in 2 weeks, and then I'm going to kind of get my feedback from the judges and kind of determine what my game plan is at that point. So, but the Tampa Pro was incredibly run. It was wonderful. So definitely a more expensive venue. To have a backstage pass for the trainers, it was $200 per day for them.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Instead of like $200 for the show. Then they also had to prove that they had an active IFBB Pro card or an NPC card. The hotel you mentioned about the food, the cost of the food, the hotel.
Oh yeah.
was very expensive. I think we ended up spending a little over $1,400 just on the hotel.
Wow.
But it was, I mean, a beautiful venue. The staff there was fantastic. Actually, the bellman who helped load us up, he lost his wedding ring, and it actually fell into my basket. So I've got to call the hotel and mail it out to him. So. But it was a very well-run show. I unfortunately got sick, so it was a great experience because I've never competed sick before. I've never competed 2 days peaking, so that was a wonderful experience for me to kind of see how my body was going to respond. So it helps me. I don't focus on the placing because I have no control of who steps on stage with me, right? I can control other factors, and so I set goals for myself on those things, and all of those goals were achieved.
Well, from what I saw, you look really good. I mean, you look in great shape. Even though dealing with sick, and also your friend Roger was there also sponsoring. And how he did it, the spirits, because he had his booths and stuff like that. How he did?
Oh yeah. They ended up selling out of everything, so it was a great experience for them. Yeah,
that was Rogers Rice, right?
Yeah, yes, Rogers Rice.
Yeah. Well, we have here a guest has popped in here. My man Josh, Josh from Empire Nation. Stand up, Josh. Welcome.
Hey, Josh.
Empire Nation, how's it going?
How you doing, Josh?
Good.
Doing good.
We have a comment here. We have a guest. Man, C. Cross in the building. He just dropped this. He says this. He says, well, Tampa show was exciting for me on so many levels. Oh, you were there? He says this. Also, he says, I think the judges made great decisions in the women's division, women's physique division, not so much for the figure division. I wanted Nicole to win that, but it's what it is. Okay, yeah. And also, he says
Okay.
this. He says, uh, Alex and David, I'm sure you had a time with those ladies. All of them was amazing. And his last word, he said like this. He says this, fit model. I'm with you on that, George. Garbage division. I appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, here's my stance on it. With women's bodybuilding, I felt no offense to Paula. I think I met her there last year. She's a nice young lady, but I feel like maybe it's just my thoughts. I think she wasn't as. If you look at, if you get a comparison between her and Alida at the show, Alida had more of that muscle density that which you see in women's bodybuilding. If you see some of the ladies in the top five, now Paula has a great physique. She has impressive. She has great, conditioning, but still, I think the issue is going to be size. And the big question is, would be her plan? Now she got two qualifications in two different divisions.
Ooh, that's a good question,
Actually,
my man.
I talked with her and her coach. She is planning on doing women's bodybuilding at the Olympia, so that's the path they're going to take. So yeah, and I honestly, I although Paul was great, I was hoping for Alida to win too. I just thought Alida looked better for women's bodybuilding and had more density, and yeah, I liked her look better. So
Yeah, same with me. But then again, I did see where Paul was coming from. So I deeply respect. She had the conditioning for a while, and I'm kind of glad she kind of went the path to bodybuilding. I'm happy that I'm just doesn't hoping it doesn't affect which division she's going to continue, either bodybuilding or physique. I mean, she has all the credentials there for both classes. Just where she's going to continue from there. You know what I mean? But it was a pleasant surprise for me that she won. So Alita was was a close call. I'm hoping she was going to win too. But you know what? It is what it is. It's competition.
Yeah, I had the Phenom
Yeah, that's the
Rena
thing.
Timskin winning, but
Yeah,
yeah, turns
I
out Paul
think
won.
with Rinya, she's kind of like one person she's really friends with that was also a division. I saw pictures with her is Christina Mendoza. Christina has size, but it's always going to be issue with her conditioning. And she won that show back in 2024. And and Rania, I think she might be doing Atlanta. I'm not certain. Um, she just needs to. She's put on size, but she just needs that conditioning. Like this was like this with Rania. She was doing wellness before, and she moved up to women's physique, into women's bodybuilding. And you look at Christina, who also when she was a pro. She started out doing women's bodybuilding, did not go into wellness. It's like we're exchanging one bodybuilder for another.
Yeah, but like I said, the 2026 Temple Pro was pure cinema. We got caught by surprise by Paula Ranta winning the women's bodybuilding division. That's how I felt.
Yeah. Anyway, but it was a good show. This is what put some stuff. As you know, the guys from Female Bodybuilding Channel, they had a little issue some time ago. They lost their channel, but they bought it back. But they created a new channel, and it's on IG. It's called All Access, and also on YouTube. And they have posted some videos and stuff from the show. If y'all want to check them out. And Ryan, you were there. You enjoyed. Did you enjoy the event as a whole, especially even though dealing with the cost of this and that and everything else?
No. I mean, I enjoyed the whole experience, and I tried to watch as much as I could. But unfortunately, because I was under the weather and I was trying to get better as quickly as possible, I kind of stayed in my room a little bit more than I would have liked to be downstairs watching. So
yeah, you actually live close by,
Ask
don't
Ryan
you,
a
Ryan? You're still in Ocala.
I'm in Ocala, yeah, so I'm about 2 hours north.
Yeah, so it's at least you could drive down and stuff and bring your food and all that good stuff.
Oh, I did, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I'm going to pull up, as you know, Paula, she won women's bodybuilding. She was very impressive. I said it again. I'm kind of a fence on it, but she looked really good. So we'll pull up here. As you know, I'm not gonna play too much music because you got to be careful for YouTube nowadays. You know, they jump on you on every little thing. But she looked really good. I mean, being so young, only in her late 20s now. Yeah, I can see where she does look really good. She has good lat development, good overall conditioning. But then here's the thing: is her back is going to be her issue because you look at some of the other
Yeah.
ladies, especially you look at, most definitely if I saw her video here somewhere. I thought they had it. Oh, here she is. You look at someone like Alita, who's
Mhm.
just she's massive. She's more even. Maybe not as small in the waist, but she has more size in the quads, more definition in her back. You can see how she has more of a pop, more of that natural graininess that you see in WPD.
Hey, George, could I
I
ask a
mean, women's
question real quick?
bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That full access, so that's FBBC guys that are behind that? I was curious about that.
yeah, because a while back they lost their they got their YouTube channel suspended, but then they got it back. Just saw JB posted something on their IG, and they got it back. But they created this over the weekend so they can post a lot of stuff from the show. Here we have
Oh, okay. I
Rania.
haven't looked at it yet.
Yeah, Rania. She has a good bit of the size, but the thing is, it's going to be conditioning when it comes to her. She took third to show. She looks impressive, but if she can come in just a little tighter and maybe just a little fuller, she might place a lot better in her next show.
I just really like her look. I think she has a perfect look for women's bodybuilding and just really feminine, nice look to her.
Yeah, it looks better than she did last year. Yeah, she same placing, but yeah, definitely improved this year.
And then
Yeah,
we
yeah, she's
also
definitely putting in work.
we have Rashana Boswell, and Rashana has been. I got to meet Rashana a couple of years ago when she was down here in North Carolina. She did a seminar for my man Glenn, a while back. And with Rashana, she has a slender waistline. One thing always going to be issue with her is her glutes. Not as tight, not as serrated. Her detail in the back is pretty good. One thing, she has great set of abs, but always the back is going to be her issue. If she can come a little tighter in the glutes, maybe a little more fuller in the quads, she would do a lot better.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, I can definitely see that.
Yeah. Next up we have here is Gabriella Vega. And Gabby, she's really has really put on some good condition, good shape. She's working with Gina Cavallero over the transformation company, and she won the master's qualification for next year. Gabby's been a guest on my channel quite a few times. She's really put on some mass. Her condition is a lot better compared to last year.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
transformation company is doing like free coaching, right, with her because she was nominated and got picked too. So that was really cool as well.
Yeah.
Or like a
Also,
sponsored athlete.
Also, we have the two-time Olympian, the lovely Mrs. Sherry Piami. As you know, Sherry just returned after she took a layoff after last year. Sherry looked really good, but I think always going to be a problem is her conditioning her legs. She has great body development. She wasn't as tight. They were surprised that she was in second call-outs. When I saw second call-outs, I would say, wow, I couldn't believe Sherry was in second call-outs. Most definitely thought she was going to be in top 3 or top 5.
Yeah, that comes by
Actually had
surprise
read-
too.
I'd read something that she was concerned that her glutes wouldn't be quite ready yet, and she's working with a new coach, and so I guess I was a little surprised that she got second call out, but then I think she was not necessarily surprised by that because of her glutes. So
She won the best poser award. That counts for some. At least some good came out of her.
Yeah, something.
Yeah, something.
gets the money too out of it, like $1,500. So that's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
Now we had Dr. Keena Squarey, and I was really thought she would do a lot better than she did. I remember I saw pictures from the Master show. I most definitely thought she would get Master qualification, but it looked like she had an issue with her gut. I mean, it looked like it was a bit extended. From the back she was good, but you look from the gut and from the front, it looked like she just had some issues, with her stomach.
Yeah, I know. I felt bad for
Yeah.
her. Yeah, she really looked great from the
Yeah,
back.
I'm seeing that. Yeah. I hope she can.
And next up, we have is a lady who really wasn't for her, wouldn't have wins by the show. Anastasia Ryder, Anastasia, she's a big girl. I think she, maybe a couple of shows down the road, she stews a little bit. You know, again, she's a lot bigger, meaning she really has to really fill out her body because she's a naturally taller woman.
Mhm.
Conditioning is something you need to prove on, maybe a little more muscle density, but she's still impressive. And also, she gave a little speech at the show. Shout out to her for giving that speech because, truthfully, it wasn't for her, we wouldn't have Women's Bodybuilding at the show this year. I'm hoping that maybe we get some people who want to sponsor it next year because it's good that she did the GoFundMe, but that problem is a short-term problem for a long-term solution.
Right.
For the folks who didn't see the live stream, she actually gave a speech, and
She did.
the MC pulled her up, and she talked about, thank the people who gave to the GoFundMe page to try to save women's bodybuilding, and how Tim Gardner helped, by getting women's bodybuilding back on the schedule for Tampa Pro. So that was really awesome. I actually have a clip of that. I haven't shared it yet, but that was awesome.
Okay. All right. Next up is making her pro debut, Taylor Schmuck. And Taylor's impressive. Again, she kind of reminds me a bit, even though her coach is Chelsea. From the back, she does remind me a bit of Chelsea. And that's one thing which she needs to work on is to bring in conditioning in her glutes, in her back. She has good size, quads are really good, but just got to come in a little more tighter and a lot more fuller.
Yeah, I like her abs and quads. She's the quaddess,
Oh yeah, that's the quaddess.
Yeah. And last but not least is the lovely Mrs. Ursula Kelly. As you know, Ursula, she turned pro a couple of years ago, and this was her second year as competitive pro. She made a pro debut back in 2024 at the Grand Prix. As you know, that show is no longer around. President lady, former military. She served our country. I don't say thank you for your service as citizens. I appreciate the sacrifice she made for half of us. President lady, as you know, she's being coached by Ashley Jones currently, and I think she's also going to be competing this weekend at the Atlanta Pro.
I actually met up with her. She kind of told me that she wanted to take a break. She actually wants to do the Steve Carr Classic in November. From what I
that's true. She mentioned that to me about Steve Carr, and she's really cool. I got a chance to say hi to her, and
me too.
She is kind of a unique IG. She is Trauma Built is the name of her IG, isn't it?
Well, she has two IGs. She has she built, which is her main, and then the Trauma other one's the other IG because she has two IGs. Because her husband, I think her husband must be competing at the amateurs in the Tampa this week, because I think that's why I thought she was going to be there competing too, because he's competing also. We have here comments here. Shout out to my guests who are here saying this. Comment from my man. The last man standing says, the more I think about, the more I like Paula winning bodybuilding. She gets so much attention on social media from bodybuilding. Social media for Miss Olympia is going to have more attention than usual. That's good. Attention is good, but the thing is, you stop us with attention about presenting what is truly women's bodybuilding. And we do need attention, but we still need people who come in with a great physique and overall look. One thing is you're not going to beat the champ, not going to beat my girl. It's going to be tough to beat her. She's going to have to retire. We have to shout out to a man. Susan says, correction, George, is actually called Full Access Official. Okay, thank you, brother, for sending me that. Also, this is from a man. He says, why did AJ and JB get their channels suspended? Well, they were accused of something. And what it was, like with YouTube, you gotta be careful with, like, especially when we, like, guys like me and David and any other guys who post stuff on YouTube, we gotta be very careful because it'll take much. I remember a while back, I do think of comparisons, when I compare competitors, and I post something, tell me, hey, put up the adult protections because you don't want kids to look at it. But it's mostly ladies wearing posing suits like that, but it's chicks out there nearly half naked. So they were accused of some sexual material and nudity. But it's no different what me and David post sometimes. Especially when we do an interview. But I think it went to an interview with a young lady, and she did kind of take off some of her clothes, and they just jump on that. But guys who are bodybuilders will, get down into their skivvies. But here's the thing is, it's easy to sexualize women than it is to sexualize men.
You know, it's interesting. Somebody had mentioned that they were thinking AI is doing a lot more of the content moderation now, too. So that, that could have hurt as well. And there are some ladies that, like Michaela Aycock and even Paula Ranza, that have basically shown their whole naked backside, and like showing off their glutes. But I could see where the AI would just like, that's nudity, and just go on. So I'm trying to be careful about what I post because I don't want to get in trouble with the algorithm gods or whatever.
Yeah, that's the thing
Yeah.
is it's very subjective. But some of that stuff is those women not really like completely naked, and then you can see the same thing on IG, but they don't jump on you as bad. So anyway, it was a good lineup. We had at least 10 ladies in the open, 13 competing masters. President shout out to the lovely Mrs. Andre Payton, who won. I think she won the 50 class and the 55 class, I believe, 45 class. And also shout out to the lovely Miss Ellen Bello, who won 60. She was only competitive 160. I know a competitor who could have competed 60. She wanted to win bodybuilding. That's the lady behind you, the lovely Melanie Horton. But
Oh, yeah.
yeah, she could have did women's bodybuilding 60. We have a comment says, shout out to our man last man saying it says, I don't think Rashana has decided to compete to competitive against the top women bodybuilders. Well, the thing is, but she pushed up to women's bodybuilding. But that could be a thing. Like for you, Ryan, is your figure? You've seen the girls get a lot bigger, denser. You're backstage, some of these girls. You see some girls that you think that really should maybe go up eventually to physique.
There was, I want to say yes that there are, but I do think that it almost seems a little bit if you've got a tiny waist, they want you to stay in figure and you have height. If you're short like me, because I've had a lot of people tell me that they would like to see me compete and try physique, even though I'm not huge. The way I'm built and just watching some of these, I look, and especially up against when you see me next to somebody who's 5'7", 5'9", 6 foot, I look even more stocky. So
Yeah.
I think that the height has a little bit of a influence to that too, because the taller you are, the more muscle you can have, and you'll still have that more elegant, long, lean look, if that makes sense. If you
Well, it's like I say, it's very suggestive when you look at these competitors now as the division has evolved the last 10 to 15 years. Where we're so close. Like you look at it's again you saw with Cheryl Bradley when she decided to make that move up. After her last couple of shows, she won at Ultima and she took second at Toronto. And with Paula, she's like that. She's on the fence. And you got to think about it. Paula was originally figured when she started. She was doing figure. She earned Olympic qualifications as a figure competitor.
I met Paula last year at MI40, and I thought she was a bodybuilder back then. I mean, I didn't ask what her division was, but just based on looking at her, I thought she was a bodybuilder. So, and she is very young. So, I mean, if you guys keep that in mind, I mean, the density that we see in some of the more mature athletes in any division, that's where you're going to get that density. So that will eventually be there. I think her structure is great. I think she looks fantastic. She also has the mindset that she can get lean enough. So I think bodybuilding is her division, and I think that she also is still very feminine looking.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's not always the case, especially when you take all the makeup off.
Yeah, there's always a debate about the importance of femininity over muscularity. Like that's why women's bodybuilding gets kind of a stink eye because the extreme muscle of it. compared to the other divisions. But even now, if you look at those divisions now, like that's why football is around, hot poop, because the bikini girls
Yeah, food.
are looking more like the figure girls from back in the day.
Yeah. And that's exactly what has happened. And, Fit Model, even in the 2 years that it's been around, they're already more developed, they're leaner, they're harder than they were when they first originally started out.
Mhm. We have a comment from a
Yeah.
man, Seacross. He says this. He says, Rania to me reminds me so much of Christina Mendoza, Christina McCall Mendoza. They look like cousins almost. The difference, Rania is potentially going to go further in the top five one day for sure at the Olympia. Yeah, because like I said, you got some potential there. Also, shout out to man C Cross. He says, Sherry Piami, I was surprised she came out in the second call out, not the first, but she won the Posey Award, like you said. Yeah. And also shout out to my man C Cross. He says, Anastasia Ryder is 5'10. She is an Amazon. Yeah, because the taller women,
Yep.
it takes more time to fill out. I got my dear friend, the Lord, Miss Tina S. Williams. She's like 5'9", 5'8". And she's been competing with bodybuilding for the last few years. So while we're here, we're also going to jump into the physique division. A lot of ladies there. Shout out to the Full Access official. They post a lot of the videos and stuff. It was a deep lineup. I think at least 20 women at the show, and represent just some amazing ladies there. So many that I think I'm going to cut down to maybe the top 10. And started off with the winner, Amanda Machado. And Amanda, this is her second lifting qualification. It was a close battle between her and Sharonica Hinton for the top spot. As you know, she also works with a boyfriend. He's her boyfriend Dom Slice, who also does he works with Tiana Flex, he works with Susan Graham, Lavinia Barros. He has a stable of women, and she looks pretty good. I was rooting for Sharonica, honestly.
I love
So was I.
Sharonica. She is a beautiful person inside and out. So
Yeah, she's a great posing coach. Very popular. She looks really good. But Sharonica to me, so that's not Sharonica. I clicked the wrong one. That's Susan. That's Sandra Amaro. The suit's about the same color. But Sharonica, if I probably there you go, Sharonica. Sharonica to me, she honestly fits the standard of what women's physique should be.
Oh yeah, she definitely fits the criteria. Let's look at her.
Yeah. She has a great condition, great shape. She's been a multiple-time Olympian since the division started. Sharonica also has served our country, so I will say thank you for your service. And I appreciate the sacrifice she made on behalf of us as of this country. I got those top three, in the world in women's physique, and I think didn't you get a chance to talk with her a little bit, Alex?
Yeah, I really tried to do the same thing like I did with Ashley. She acted like I had no idea what I was talking about. I really did mention you, and I tried to explain why I want. She asked why I'm doing this, and I told her I was like, similar to what I did. What you do, support women's private. I'm just, but she was getting busy at the moment, and I was like, okay, you know what? I'll tell him you said hi. So blame me. I tried, George. I tried.
But that's all you can do, son. Just you try. That's all you did. But I
Yeah.
know she's a busy lady because she had quite a few clients there. She worked with people posing, everything else like that. But another lady who was, I think, a pretty good poser is Rachel Daniels. And Rachel, she's been a multiple-time Olympian herself, and she looked really good. And I think a lot of people thought she might was coming in as the possible winner. But then there's the debate that Rachel might be outgrown WPD.
Yeah, I think she
Yeah,
might be
she's
better for women's bodybuilding.
Yeah, I
yeah,
think
she's
so
definitely at the
too.
cusp.
And her posing was great. She did this like point ballet thing on stage, and it was like really amazing. It was like beautiful and really elaborate posing routine as she usually does. But it was great. She definitely deserved that award.
Yeah, yeah, she's a great poser, very talented. Good movement. Last year she took a step back after she won her last qualification because of mental issues she was going through. She took a few years off because she went through a divorce, got attacked by a dog. I got to meet her when I was in Tampa because she was coaching one of her clients that year. That was Keisha Oliver, who wasn't the 40 class and was bodybuilding. Next up is Linka Furkova. And Linka, this was I think, her second show of the year. And I believe she's going to be competing at the Atlanta Pro. Linka is, she's been a two-time Olympian herself, and amazing physique, great detail, great muscle. She great, bigger than upper body compared to the lower body. But I think always going to be coming back to the issue of conditioning and overall size.
I remember when she won this show in 2021, and yeah, her conditioning is was a little bit off, and I think if she does come in more conditioned in Atlanta, she'll be top 2 maybe. She looks amazing. She's really pretty too.
Sure. Yeah.
Sorry, you're gonna drop my phone for a second. But also to get into who made the top 5, she just made her pro debut last year. She did 2 shows. She did both the Imperial in Spain and the Portugal. Is Julia Cabocos. If I got the name wrong, I apologize. Julia, impressive. I mean, this is her first show in the States. I mean, she has a great physique, beautiful lines, very classic. But I think the issue might have been, I don't know, maybe conditioning the midsection could have hurt her a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Conditioning definitely
She
hurts.
has that nice small waist, good width, good taper. But I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a judge. I know Steve Weinberg was judging the show, but he saw something that maybe didn't place her a little higher.
Yeah. She looked amazing, though.
One lady's been a guest on me, and she also is going to compete in Atlanta this coming weekend, and that is Heather Wright. Now, Heather made her pro debut in Atlanta last year. This is her probably cannot be one of the biggest shows. This is her best showing. I think she was in the top 5 in Atlanta last year, and didn't get 6 in a stacked lineup like it was.
Yeah, I told her that her nickname should be First Call Out because she said first call out at all her shows.
Ooh, new nickname alert.
Yeah, First Call Out. I think that would work.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
she's amazing though, and it was nice to meet her in person too. I hadn't met her in person, but she's really sweet and great physique.
Yeah, she's a great look to her. I like the pixie haircut. It's really cute with her. It works with her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now making her pro debut and got 7 right behind. Heather is Tanya Dominique. From Singapore, and
making
she
her
was really
debut.
doing figure, but she had to make the switch. Yeah, she made the switch to win physique, and she has great potential. I think maybe the right show, she can probably get Olympic qualification.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she
definitely
really looks
star.
good. Oh, very much so. She's like future Ms. Olympia. I think she looks amazing.
Yeah, she has that great look. Like maybe a little more small in the waist, just a bit, and maybe just everything looks pretty good. Maybe more condition in the quads, but everything looks like this is honestly her and Shavanika, and even I would say honestly, Heather are really truly examples of WPD.
Yeah, I agree.
Sure. I agree.
Yeah, well, that's like I said, it's just subjective debate. Now, this lady, we were hoping to have her on, because I sent the link. It's the lovely Miss Lavrana Jackson. If I got a name wrong, I apologize to Miss Jackson. And this was her pro debut. She actually got a pro card no more than about a couple weeks ago at the Team Collegiate, aka the Masters Nationals. She has a great look to her, great personality. I mean, she beautiful look. I mean, again, I think the issue might be is in the back, especially with the glutes. condition in the midsection. I mean, she actually earned a pro card in women's bodybuilding.
Yeah, I talked to her. I told her she really stood out on stage, and she's really very impressive. And yeah, she's got a great future, I think, in the sport. She got second in Masters 40 plus, which is pretty damn good for a pro debut.
Oh wow, that is amazing.
Yeah,
the lady
she's
and the
great.
lady she had to beat out for that is Tanya Balut from Turkey. Tanya, she looks really good. I mean, we hadn't competed fake for the next year or so. She's a much taller competitor, very statuous. She got ninth. Kind of funny. She won in the masters class, but got ninth here in the open class.
I like her abs. Her abs are insane, man. Yeah, she's great. Look, very pretty.
Okay, what's her? And
She does tower over most of the girls too. She's so tall.
yeah. And last but not least, another lady who's pretty tall, Mariana Lupo. I hate to mess up the name, Miss Mariana Kay from Cyprus. She is, one of two female bodybuilders from the island outside of Greece. She's also pretty tall, impressive physique. I think she's competing again. Maybe she might be doing Atlanta.
Oh yeah, she's very statuesque. Look at that.
Yeah, she and
Amazing
Tatiana
look.
were hanging out, and I think they're friends, but they're both like equally tall, and they just tower over everybody.
Yeah. Tall girls hang with tall girls, for a couple of ways. Now I'm gonna drop a couple of these. I want to say, give them a great, I would say, honorable mention, and that is the lovely Mrs. Natalia Bastrova. I mean, I know.
Bastrova.
I think David, you got a couple pictures with her, and I think she has. This lady is now. I think she's 57, 58, and
Yeah,
just
yeah, she's
Woo-wee.
incredible. God, she's like a little
Yeah.
pint-sized powerhouse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and holding her own. As you know, she earned a pro card a few years ago in both women's body and women's physique. Made a pro debut in the States at the Ultima Classic, and won her Olympic qualification there. And then she took second to your girlfriend at the Omaha.
Yeah, that's right. Dang it.
Also, we have here the lovely Mrs. Melody Horton. As you know, Melody, her return back to WPD. She was competing in women's bodybuilding for a good bit back in 2024. She felt like she was a little off, but to me, she looked really good. I mean, again, she had competed for 2 years. She also is sponsored by Bad Rap. Shout out to Eunice and JoJo. I got to meet them when I was there last year. And she's been in the game for a long time. She's been in the game since a good part of the 90s, and one of the few women who's been actively competing since then.
Oh
I
yeah, she
had the
definitely looks
pleasure of,
amazing at Temp Pro.
Yeah, she did. She looked great. I was chauffeuring her and Barbara around town on Wednesday, and yeah, they're just so sweet, amazing ladies for sure. Great physiques.
Hey, you was that Uber driver.
I was, yeah.
Yeah, that's the picture you see in the background with David. He was driving the ladies around, and also they were taking some recordings of them working out. Shout out to them.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Both amazing ladies.
Awesome.
Yeah, powerhouse team.
Great job. Thank you.
Yeah, they're both great ladies. As you know, Barbara is competing in a few more weeks at the Olympia. Question is, what Melanie's going to do? What's her plans? Anybody, like David, have she said anything to you or anybody, what she's going to do next?
Who, Melanie or Barbara?
Melanie.
Oh, Melanie. I'm not sure about that. Yeah, I'm not sure what she's got planned next. But yeah, they're both really awesome. And Barbara's qualified for the Olympia and the Masters Olympia, so she'll be doing both. And who knows where Masters Olympia is going to be next year? But yeah, they're both really awesome. And
I hope it's in the States.
I suspect they're going to move it to another continent again, and I think South America. That's just my guess.
Brazil would be good.
Brazil. That's what I'm thinking.
Honestly,
Brazil, maybe.
Honestly, I'm asking you this, Ryan. would you rather have if you get your qualification for the Master Olympia, would you rather have it here in the States or another country?
Hmm. Probably here in the States, simply for cost. I don't think I would really get an opportunity to truly enjoy the other country because I have to go
Yeah.
there at least a week before, and that pretty much eats up all of my vacation time. So if I had a more flexible job where I could be remote, then I would prefer it to be anywhere in the world. Um, but from a financial standpoint, I have to physically be in Ocala, and I can't take more than a week off at a time.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
understand that.
That's
I think it honestly makes sense. A couple suggestions I would say. Something that maybe have it in Vegas, but that'd be too close to the Olympia. So
Yeah,
that would be something to put it out, or have it in Orlando again. Have it in Orlando like they had the Olympia when
yeah,
they did it
or have it in
for
Texas. Texas love their bodybuilding.
yeah.
Texas.
Texas
Is a
is
good
Yeah.
place.
I mean, and Texas is a very local, like central part of the U.S. So
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's true.
Yeah, or,
I
but I'm here
you know
saying is
after
that. Go ahead.
after Masters Olympia, the fiasco they had in Japan, maybe they would want to keep it in the U.S. Remember, the athletes weren't getting
Yeah,
paid and stuff, and
yeah,
they
I
had to pay
remember
the
that. That
prize
was
money.
messed up.
That was a
Because remember,
disaster. That was bad.
you remember I had that little after show thing with some of the ladies had talked about how one. Remember Donna and her friend mentioned they got caught when there was I think it was a typhoon or something was hitting in around Japan, so had to wait for like
Yeah,
Yeah.
almost a day for to get a fly out, and then it's like Ryan said, you need more time to fly out because he wants at least a full week or so to get adjusted to the area. That's why a lot of Americans don't compete overseas. It's if you can have at least more time to get ready, we have a flexible job, we can get ready.
hmm,
Shout out to my man here, Jeff. Jeff says this. He says, "Hey everyone, what's up? I'm happy to be joining you guys on the Muscle Monday. Thank you, brother." Also, shout out to my man C. He says this. He says, "Taylor Schmuck looked like Sheena, Queen of the Jungle, with the leopard's bikini suit."
I like
Shout out
that.
to my
Yeah.
man Kia. Yeah, shout out to my man
ooh,
Kia, the one who says greetings to you, brother. Also,
green.
shout out to. Give me a second here. Um, Linux says, shout out to the man here, Jeff. Wait a minute, so Jeff didn't say anything. He say hello to Chaos. Says, oh, shout out to, it ain't just sexual stuff. It can be copyright for your YouTube channel that could be suspended. Yeah, but there's free and fair use. And if, like I said, I got a tag for something that was copyrighted, not because I didn't think it was copyrighted, but as long as it's free and fair use, meaning that if it's something that's out there, like if somebody posts something on social media, you put it out there. Unless you are a business, most times that's the only time they really come after copyright for shit. Like I was thinking about recording some of the Tampa, but that promoter, the guys who do the Tampa, I think it's TV BML, they put a thing where they want you to record it. And also, I
yeah,
think we're seeing more shows where telling you, not to bring professional cameras in, take pictures. You can take pictures with
You
your cell
saw that
phone.
too? I was like, but your cell phone could
but
take
everybody was doing it.
professional. Yeah, never mind.
What about to say?
Your cell phone could take professional pictures.
What about to say, Ryan?
I was like, everybody was still doing it, so taking pictures and videos and things like that, but not um, they were still going around and telling people to stop. So
Yeah, this was
Yeah, because
confusing.
it happened to me at the
There,
Chicago Pro. They were like, you can't be doing that.
yeah. And it happens
I
more
was like, man.
often at these shows. So even the smaller shows now, they're saying, "Oh, no more video, no more," or you can take photos, but you can't take video, or vice versa. So
Well, Alex and
Mhm.
I found it to be really inconsistent. Actually, remember Alex? That
yeah. Ask me if this makes any sense. Okay, I was allowed to take. I took photos of the Masters Nationals on the night. It was my first time attending. Then next morning he said no pictures. Then when the finals happened, we took pictures. Where did that come? Seriously, guys, what is B? What sense does that make?
Yeah.
yeah, it was
One
kind
thing
of
you
That's
do.
weird.
goofy. Yeah.
Yeah, one thing you do because which is a Tim Gardner show or any other bigger shows, they take the pictures of the pre-judging, so
Yeah.
you get to see those pictures. Because I remember I sent yours to you, Ryan, because you were thinking, what, got it fast. Because when it's Tim Gardner shows, or maybe like something like the Pittsburgh or any of the bigger shows, those pictures we posted within the afternoon. Some other shows would take maybe a couple of days for they got the pictures. Because some ladies would do a package, like you go with Gilco. He does a lot of video and photography. Some ladies say they like that better, and some women can't always afford his prices, so they enjoy when they get those pictures because hey, they can post it on their social media.
Yeah. Well, and I did. I paid for the pictures, and I should have them within the week. Which right now I'm hoping that they show the Saturday pictures because NPC News Online only is showing the Thursday photos, which to me was not my best presentation. So I want to see and actually be able to compare the difference between Thursday and Saturday's look, so I know what that to do different for my next show.
Yeah,
I want to
but I
mention
think somebody.
that
Go
we
ahead.
usually figure on at Tampa Pros on Friday and figure open, and I wish it had been that way because I couldn't be there on Saturday, so I kind of regret missing the figure ladies for the open. But I was kind of surprised the way they kind of rearranged the schedule a little bit. And I want to mention too that a little constructive criticism for Tim Gardner. I think he's a great promoter, but I really don't like the way he chops up those tickets, and it makes it very expensive for fans or trainers or whoever wants to buy tickets to the show. You have to buy 10 different tickets for 3 days, and it's just no. I don't know how anybody can afford that. So it's just
Yeah, that's why I met you.
Tickets. It was
Remember, I met you something like
crazy.
that.
It was crazy how
Like
I
there's
was
one
trying to
guy.
get back in.
Whoa,
Trying
whoa,
to
whoa,
get
whoa,
back
wait,
in for
wait.
physique. They wouldn't let me
Yeah,
back in for physique because they actually gave me a different ticket that for a certain part of the show. If you try to get what I'm trying to say, they were able to fix it. So thank God I was able to get back in, but they really need to be more clear with the tickets.
I remember
well,
when I
just
went
not
last year.
chop it up so much. Just do like an all day pass or something, and I don't know.
yeah, something
It's
like
crazy.
that.
Well, I remember when I went last year. They had because they actually had figure on that Saturday with the men's open. They had the and I only bought tickets for because I at the time I was stretching my dollars. I got to stretch my dollars. I only bought the tickets for I think for the because I wanted to check out units when she competed in the Masters and watch the Masters. And the funny part of that one thing that makes sense to me, why had the Masters so late? Like at
I
3 o'clock.
it was really late. Like they started the prejudging at 5, and then I think we didn't go back on stage until 8:30 or something like that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it
For
was.
the
It was late.
awards.
Yeah, I didn't know what
So
time the finals were coming. They never told me. I had to wait for my a very confused Uber driver made me miss the awards. I couldn't find it. I didn't want to afford anything in the hotel. I really did. They never specifically told me what happens after. What time is that? So
right.
again, be more clear. You know what I mean?
I think that's what happened with Audrey Lindstrom or Pet, and she actually got disqualified from women's bodybuilding 55 plus, and I think she would have won it, but I think she didn't get back in time. And they were a
Oh
little vague in
no.
terms of when Masters finals would start. So, and it was kind of quick, that they went through once the finals started. It went through pretty quickly, which was kind of good. You probably
Yeah.
recognize that too, Ryan.
Oh yeah.
I was able to say hi to at least I got some pictures with the winners after it was over. At least I was lucky I got to do that. But still, guys, be next time. Please be more clear with the times. It was my first time attending Masters. I was not. Were they expecting me to know?
Talk to him, man.
Well, originally there wasn't supposed to be a break at all. It was supposed to go judging straight into awards, but I think they did a small break because the judges need to use the restroom, and then
Yeah.
they
Oh,
started.
real? Oh, wow. That clears up. That thanks for not telling us that.
So
Nice.
Yeah, You know what I would have preferred too was if they're going to have it all at once, all in one evening like that, why not just have, women's bodybuilding prejudging, women's bodybuilding finals, just do those back to back. You know what I mean? Instead of like
Yeah,
having
yeah.
all
Why
the
couldn't they have
prejudging and all the finals, I think that would have really, especially being an evening show, and then you could just leave, when you needed to, because you're like the people you wanted to see are done. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Yeah. Would that have
Well,
would
and
you have
that's
preferred that,
probably
Ryan?
why they didn't do that.
Yeah.
Well-
Well, yeah. Yeah,
Well,
that's
Ryan,
true.
well, I appreciate you coming through.
Yeah,
Hope it's a great opportunity. We were going to talk about figure, but I do appreciate your feedback from the
Yes.
show. It's a great opportunity to have a lady come on here because it's just a bunch of hard legs here. But when we get a lady, we get excited. So yeah. But as you said, she's planning on doing the Max Fit coming up in
Yep.
a couple of weeks.
Yep.
What classes are you doing?
I'm doing 40 and 45 plus for figure, for sure. Now, there might be something else that gets thrown in the mix, but I haven't made up my mind yet. So, but
Very
for
cool.
sure, those two I'm already signed up for. So,
That's great.
Well,
You have a great look, Ryan.
thanks.
Yeah, she looked great.
I mean,
Too bad you
for me, this is the best look and best package I've brought. I'm super happy. My feedback for me was to be just a little bit tighter in my glutes and lower back, and ultimately I need to bring out my hamstrings because
Hey,
I don't want to
Ryan.
give up my. Hi, Jeff.
By the way, could I mention something about Ryan right now? I love
go
his shirt.
ahead.
I'm sure everybody. I love Ryan's shirt. If that is a Rolling Stones shirt, you know what? I was thinking, George, when you're gone on vacation, let me and David and Alex take over because I would want to interview the lovely Ryan because I've been waiting on because Joshua, I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna try to hunt that lady down.
Oh, boy. I'm going, boy. Hold up.
Take it down. Take it down.
Jeff, this is
I built this shit.
Take it down. Take it down.
Pick that pick, and y'all man will take my place.
Hey,
Yeah,
come
Learn
on.
that, boy. Chill out. I'm
Take it
I have to put
down.
your time out,
Take it
son. I gotta put your time out. I gotta put you in time out. You can't
No.
behave. I gotta put your time out.
Jeff, we're serious, Jeff.
Hey,
We're sorry.
Ryan.
Sorry, I had to hear that, right? I
Yes.
don't know. He's
Yeah,
always
he-
like this. I don't know why.
Yeah, just
Ryan, I
wanted
wouldn't be
to.
opposed to you doing women's physique, though. I think that would be awesome. You should do it.
And that, okay, so Michael Matasta is the one that was really pushing for me to do that. I had another IFBB judge back in, I want to say it was early May. No, I wanted to get his opinion if I had put on enough muscle for figure, and he's like, I really like you for physique. And I was like, well, if I've got enough muscle for physique, then I should be able to start my cut for figure, no problem.
Yeah.
So yeah, and again, and we're going back to the whole structure and height issue. I look just like really compact when I'm standing next to somebody who is, 5'7". I'm not even 5'2". So, and my shoulders are a little bit broader than Sydney's. Sydney is about an inch to a half an inch taller than me, and her waist is, she basically had a 19-inch waist. On a good day, I'm like 25. So they're I have more muscular obliques, and I have a broader rib cage. So, and I think that's where the thought process is. But I also have taken pictures with Natalia, and now granted, she was, I think our last picture we took, she was 12 weeks out from Olympia, and I was post show. And yeah, she made me look like a bikini competitor. So,
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, and again, she's also like, she's still taller than me, but she is on the shorter side. So, I think that's why, you generally see the taller girls in figure and the shorter girls in physique, and then you have your bodybuilders, which are going to be a mix.
Well,
Get
Ryan,
ditched
before I
on
let you
heels
go,
too.
yeah, I get to hear. Ryan, before I let you go, we'll let Jeff come here and ask one question, Jeff, and after that, you're done, son.
Please
So you
don't
go.
screw up.
Okay,
Please don't
so my
screw up.
question is for Ryan. Hey Ryan, hey Ryan, excuse me. Hey Ryan, hey
I
Ryan, excuse
can't.
me. Hey Ryan, excuse me.
Well,
Like,
he's
how
muted.
excuse me. Hey Ryan, excuse me. How could actually it's a two-part question. Excuse me. Hey Ryan, excuse me. Hey Ryan, excuse me. How could people like me and Judge follow you? And will you be able to come to North Carolina because you know what you're saying? Like you're saying, like Alex, you need to be very careful with security. It just screaming. Like, how would I be
Hey,
able to
Jeff,
like,
you're
see the
muted.
piece? I'm not muted.
Well, anyway, Jeff. If you want to follow Jeff, she's on. Go follow her IG. Go back to my old interview. You can find her,
Yes.
and you want to follow her. So you know. But thank you, Jeff, for coming through.
I'm
So
just sorry. Hey, I'm just happy. It's a Monday. It's a Monday. It's a Monday. It's a muscle Monday. Pump up.
yeah, it's a much thing. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you for coming
Bye.
through, kid. Yeah, so see you later. So, Jeff's a good kid. I appreciate him coming through. He can be a little anxious. Sometimes because I like again, I do this channel because not just for you ladies, but also the guys who are fans. But yeah, I think when you look at how subjective the posing is and how the conditioning is and shape is, you're getting girls in bikini that can do physique, you're getting figure, you're getting women in figures can probably do physique, and now with Fit Model it's only been around for maybe over a year or so, and those girls get conditioned because you're seeing girls coming from the open division of bikini going down to that and changing the look of it. It's again, it's up to the judges. They got to put everything in control and put it in order, but it seems like it's not happening anytime soon.
No. It is a subjective sport, but I do think that they are doing a better job right now this year with trying to fit the parameters of what figure should be. Not always
We can't hear
awarding.
you.
You can't hear me?
We can't hear her. I
I
can't
can
hear her.
hear. I can
I can
hear.
hear.
Not me. I can't hear her.
It might be something with you.
No, I can hear you. I can't hear her.
That's weird because I couldn't hear Jeff.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know.
So, but
Go ahead.
like with figure, I
Well,
think that they're not just
okay,
always awarding the mass monsters now. So I think they're doing a better job with picking, staying within the parameters of what figure should be. So, because they want that difference between physique and figure, besides the heels.
Yeah, that X frame look.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Well, here's my man here. He came back, and I appreciate him coming back. David had to step out. He had a little thing to do. He is, family emergency, stuff like that. Actually, he's told me he had to go cook for his daughter and spend some time with her. But
I have
Ryan,
to
you
step
look,
out too.
yeah, Ryan, you look great. We do hope to see you. You may be in the Max Fit. Maybe, as you know, I'm going to the Masters USA's in North Americans in a few weeks, and maybe
Yep.
if you
Enjoy.
do that show, yeah.
Enjoy that. So, all right. I'll see you guys soon, I'm sure.
All right.
Nice meeting
All
you,
right. If you
Ryan.
want to come
See
back
you
on, just let
later.
us
Meeting you
know.
too, Alex and
All
Joshua.
right.
Bye.
Yeah.
Uh,
See ya.
all right. We appreciate the lovely Mrs. Ryan Martin for coming through, give her thoughts and expertise as a professional bodybuilder and who competed at Tampa. So thank you again, Ryan. So we have here some comments here. Shout out to Jeff. He said this earlier. Says, George, I'm waiting to come on today. I have, okay, yeah. Yeah. So I'm just going to skip through that. You know, a lot of these are just Jeff going back and forth. Shout out to my man here. He says this says,
Still
hey,
him.
Joe, no, this is a good week. Give me
Still
a
him.
second. Yeah. I have so many guys waiting here. Says Rachel Daniels won Best Poser Award. She deserved because she is the best poser. I gotta give her that. Yes, she's a good poser. Also, Shiraki Hinton doesn't sound very friendly based on Alex's story of meeting her comes off rude. Well, here the thing is, those women are not always, you got to think about it. They're tired, dehydrated, and Alex, he's a good kid, but sometimes he may not come across as thorough. Like if I approach something like that, I might really, explain what I'm talking about. But then she maybe have not got it. She might not have remembered, you know, me by, what did you say, George? It could be any George. She could have not, sure what George you're
Yeah,
talking
she was
about.
like, "Oh, from the live stream." Yeah, I think she almost. I think she could have almost. She almost didn't forgot. She almost forgot about you. But I think she wasn't. I wouldn't say she was rude. Yeah, I know where you're coming from. So, yeah, maybe it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't my fault. I think she just didn't realize it. You know what I mean?
Well, that's not your
I mean,
fault. It's
she
your
was,
situation. You got to think about it. She just did it. She just finished competing. She's probably tired,
yeah.
hungry, and sometimes, and you've been to enough shows to know sometimes not everybody's going to be in the best spirits. But my man here, he did get the chance to start a little bit of some action. As you know, there's a promoter guy. I think it's called Trav, I believe. He does a lot of videos and stuff. Work with a lot of ladies, and our dear friend here was in a little film a bit. He got to be filmed some, and it was with Rania, and I believe it's probably on. Let's see, I thought I have it on here, but it might be on her IG. But let me check real quick. But he was really busy. He got the I got a video
Yeah.
with him posing with Sherry Piami. He got to you know get some ladies to sign some autographs for him. I mean, the kid, he did good, kid. I'll tell you that.
You did good, my man.
Yeah. Regardless, Sharonica did sign my book. Regardless, same with Rachel. I actually got hers. Got to meet Shannon Day. Got to meet Linda Murray really caught me by surprise. And
Okay.
David introduced me to some of the other physique competitors. Even though I had no, even though I had no idea who they were, but I mean Heather, yeah, I got to meet some of them too. So they were happy to oblige too. So I can say from my experience, they were polite enough, to take pictures with.
Just be like,
One
I'm an independent
competitor I was
journalist.
honestly concerned. I was honestly nervous about was because it was my first time meeting her. And I think it's not my fault from my perspective. I think it's because it's Lita Opre because, well, her English is not pretty good. David and I met her, but I was, I try to, you know,
Well, I say is you got to remember she's from Hungary and her English not that good. Not you had Julia who's there from
Yeah.
Spain. She will speak not one word English. Natalia, a lot of those ladies come from other countries. Unless you are very multilingual, it's going to be hard to come across when you speak English. You're speaking another language. I will say just say hello, shake your hand, smile, and that's about it. But any ladies who do speak
Yeah.
English, it's easy to have a conversation with. Shout out to my man C Cross, even as this comment. He says Rachel Daniels, however, is another WPD athlete that eventually needs to move up to women's bodybuilding because she is pretty much at that point. Yeah, the judges were sending her a message with a third place. That's not so much for a message, third place. If
Mm,
anything, maybe fifth or sixth would be a bigger
that
message.
would have been,
You
yeah.
know, yeah, third place is not really, I would say, a too big of a message. If you look at it, you have look at Sharonica and